Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls.
You're listening to House of Cards.
Today, the game is different.
I want to gamble. Gambling is a very serious business. Is that clear?
Welcome to House of Cards. Dave Weishaupt with you here, deep from the swamps of Jersey. We got a great show coming up for you. Esports is the hottest topic in the gaming industry today. It seems like everyone loves esports. Celebrities, athletes, and owners of professional teams are all getting involved in esports. States are even passing laws so people can start betting on esports. There's even a state-sanctioned peer-to-peer betting event being held in Atlantic City soon. And we're going to talk to a guy who's been at the forefront of the esports industry for a long time. Ari Fox is the creator of the Casino Esport Conference, which is being held in Las Vegas at Alexis Park this year on March 23rd and 24th. He's going to tell us all the latest news involving esports and all about the Casino Esport Conference. When we come back, we're talking esports. So stick around. We'll be right back with House of Cards.
Yeah, you, come here. Haven't you heard? We don't need to hide anymore.
Now, we can shop privately for adult products at adamandeve.com. They've got massage oils, lingerie, and lots more we can't mention here. Use offer code SPICE404. They'll give you 50% off almost any one item, 3 free DVDs, free mystery gift, and free shipping. That's 50% off, free shipping, and more. Private shopping starts at adamandeve.com.
You're listening to the House of Cards.
Whoa!
I think we got a show.
Oh, yeah, we got a show.
We definitely got a show.
Oh, yeah, there's a show. Hey, it's all about ratings, baby, and we got them.
Welcome back to House of Cards. Dave Weishaupt with you. One of the hottest topics in gaming today is esports. Its growth has been just incredible. It seems like every week there's a big story about the esports industry. Our next guest has been at the forefront of this exploding market for years. Ari Fox is the creator of the Casino Esport Conference, which is being held in Las Vegas at Alexis Park this year on March 23rd and 24th. And to tell us all about it, Ari is on the line with us right now. Ari, thanks for joining us.
Oh, thanks for having me, Dave. I really appreciate it. It's nice to be back. Every year we've been pushing this narrative as I said to many people, and it is definitely a task. It's nothing happens overnight, especially when you're trying to change an industry, which is what we're trying to do. Not for the worse, obviously, for the better.
Like you said, you've been on the show before, but refresh our listeners about yourself and about your background. I mean, how did you become involved in the esports industry?
It goes back to 2015, and even a year or two earlier than that. I started GameCon, which was the Game Arts Conference. That's what GameCon stands for. The A stands for arts or artistry. And the idea behind of that is it's got a broad meaning and definition regarding, the artistry behind competition of esports, the artistry behind the development of the video games themselves. And coming from that place and that grassroots, understanding the cultural phenomenon that we call our industry, or at least the casino side of the industry, calls esports. And then on the other side of my career, I was in the casino business over 20 years as well, working as a consultant, outside marketing consultant for all of the casinos in Atlantic City.
Now, as I said, you're one of the creators of the Casino Esport Conference, which, by the way, is in its 6th year of operation. I want to tell everyone that. It's been an incredible 6 years. I mean, and it's such an invaluable source of information and marketing tools for those interested in esports. What was your inspiration for creating this conference? Or what do you hope people will get from the information you provide through this conference?
Well, our inspiration was, originally, as I said, I'm really a casino person first. I'm really in that industry first. And then, I've always loved video gaming. And then when we started our own conference for our consumer base, meaning GameCon, I saw that there was a up and coming generation of millennials and Gen Zs that, the casinos weren't really, getting as a customer. So it's almost like, I don't want to toot my own horn, but I'm sort of trying to say to the casinos, hey, listen, I'm here to save you. because your numbers will drop if, and they have over a period of time. This was,
sure,
because I saw there was a big drop in 2006 when the casino industry started to, slow down, their numbers started to decline. That was almost the peak. And then it started to go down. And that was because the main audience that casinos attract, meaning the boomer generation and some of the Gen X's, were in a decline. At least the boomer side were, they were literally, no offense to them, and they were dying off. Mm-hmm. And so there wasn't enough of them to come and support the type of growth that the casino markets were doing. And then, casinos opened in all over the place. So it's a massive engine, the casino industry. It's a big engine and employs, thousands and thousands of people. And in order to keep that going, there needs to be new innovation, new development, and new sources of activity and entertainment to offer to the next generation. And that's exactly why we talk about the Casino Esport Conference, because as such, the casinos definitely are gravitating to the wagering side of esports, which is natural.
Yeah.
They should definitely do that. That's their low-hanging fruit. But beyond that, as casinos way back in the day were creating, like shows and attractions, like, bringing in Beyonce to Ocean Resort Casino or something like that, or, yeah, having a big bash, or, doing events and becoming much more of a entertainment resort. That is something we also talk about the Casino Esport Conference, because it is great that you're starting, the esports is starting and the wagering is starting, and that they've legalized it in New Jersey, and, the wagering on esports. But beyond that, we now have to take more steps and look into this a little further, because esports is not the same as sports. And I'm going to say that again. Esports is not the same as sports. So we have to realize that, yes, it might be fun to put in a area or a book for esports. It is not the same kind of fan that you will find that likes sports, meaning
sure,
conventional sports. So that's something that also has to be understood. And that's what we try to teach at the CEC. And that's why we've been around for 6 years, because it takes a long time and a lot of classes for people to learn this stuff.
Okay, hold that thought. We're going to take a quick break. See you on the other side. We'll get back to the show in a few moments, but I just wanted to take some time and tell everyone about Bean Genius, the smart specialty coffee subscription service. Bean Genius sells freshly roasted coffee from some of the best independent coffee roasters in the country. They feature over 2,000 specialty coffee blends, all at your fingertips at beangenius.com. Here's how it works. Head on over to BeanGenius.com and take their palate profiler test to find out what coffee best fits your taste. Then select from a variety of subscription plans. Every subscription comes with free shipping, and delivery can even be scheduled for once or twice each month. And based upon your review of each coffee blend you try, Bean Genius actually learns your individual taste preferences and then suggests future coffee blends for you. And now you can get 10% off your Bean Genius subscription when you use our promo code PIKE at checkout. Bean Genius offers a variety of subscription plans to suit any coffee lover's needs. Subscribe with Bean Genius today and start enjoying some of the best tasting coffee around. And save 10% off your coffee plan with promo code PIKE.
You're listening to House of Cards. Check out our website at houseofcardsradio.com.
Welcome back to House of Cards. Dave Weishaupt with you. House of Cards is brought to you by Drizzly, your online liquor store. Available in over 95 cities across North America, Drizzly offers a huge selection and competitive pricing with a side of personalized content. Now there's no need to leave the house. Get alcohol delivered in less than an hour by Drizzly. Head on over to drizzly.com and order today. And now get $5 off your first order of $20 or more when using promo code DRINK19 at checkout. Shop beer, wine, and liquor with drizzly.com. For those of you just joining us, I am talking with Ari Fox, creator of the Casino Esport Conference being held in Las Vegas at Alexis Park on March 23rd and 24th. Now, 2021 was a big year for the gaming industry. It was important because it was kind of a bounce back year from the closures of the pandemic. How was 2021 for the esports industry? How much growth occurred for the esports market in 2021?
Well, that's a question that's asked a lot, but the truth is that it was gangbusters in the beginning because when conventional sports shut down, the only thing that was on television to wager on or to bet on was esports, but there weren't really the facility in place, the laws in place, the regulation in place. In the casino and the gambling regulators radar at the moment. So it was almost a missed opportunity. But I think that in the beginning of 2021, the video gaming and esports industry did amazingly well. And now we're talking about not just the wagering side of things, but also peer-to-peer play, which we're going to touch on at the CEC as well. And what does that mean? That's like a whole nother conversation. But just like every other industry during COVID, they did eventually. They felt the pinch because there were a lot of these companies in 2021, pre-pandemic, or even that were set up as in-person live esport competition locations, with esport venues like Allied Esport Arena, the one in Luxor that everyone talks about. Mm-hmm. Helix Esport had just built and finished their big esport center at the Patriot Stadium, Gillette Stadium. Sure. They have also an esport center in North Bergen. The Helix Esports. So, being that in that sense, it's like they had these places, then COVID hit, and they did get hurt mightily. So, on one hand, the online part of esports, which is where it begins and where it lives, and where it's been born, sort of for the casinos, they should understand that. The live in-person stuff, like everything else, really, really did hurt a lot of these companies. That's why, like Super League Gaming, if you look at their stock, they went down. Mm-hmm. The Esports Entertainment Group was coming out, or right before the pandemic, was going to be massive growth. They're having, some issues in the stock market on the NASDAQ exchange. Then you have Esport Technologies. That's another one. And they're all having a hard time because in order to get the people to their customer acquisition and to utilize their platforms, they really got to be out there. At the end of the day, you can become viral online, but at the end of the day, nothing beats being in person. Even a avid esport player or even an avid video game maker have told me that they have been hurting because of COVID because they haven't been able to meet people in person.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm glad you're mentioning the locations because I'm very curious. I mean, you're holding the Casino Esport Conference in Las Vegas. Is that still the hottest location for esports? I mean, if we were to pick out a mecca for esports in the United States, would Vegas still be it? Or in 2021, are there new emerging markets for esports?
There's enormous emerging markets in esports. There, Austin, Texas has a huge stadium there that is built for esports. Los Angeles and the West Coast has always had, that's where a lot of the publishers have offices like Blizzard, Activision, Riot, Valve. All these companies are out there. Epic Games, though, they have an East Coast presence. Atlantic City has been striving. They have now the Innovative Esports Center that was opened in Stockton. It's being run by Andrew Walgus. I mean, that's a huge investment into esports and to the development into southern New Jersey. So, and I'm a New Jersey guy, so like that's where I'm from. But I actually don't live there anymore. I moved, but I grew up there. I lived there for over 50 years. That's where my home is. And if I ever called someplace home, it's just everything I knew from when I was a child. It's New Jersey. You get that warm feeling like when I saw that ad on the Super Bowl about the recreation of the Sopranos ad.
Sure, yeah.
That just you're like, oh, I know those areas. It's like that means something to me because I'm a Jersey guy. So yeah, I'm rooting for Atlantic City. I hope that becomes the next Mecca. And I'm there to help out. And to try to make that happen. We're trying and looking at the moment to try to bring back GameCon to Atlantic City in a big way. And so we're excited about that. And GameCon really helps establish and open the doors for many casinos across the country. What it really does is it says, here's a place for you, gamer people. Come and play, explore, do VR, see the next technology, augmented reality. There's all kinds of things, that you can institute in a GameCon for the general public at your location, at your venue as a casino. And, that really says to the people who are gamers that there's something for them there, or that at least it's opening the door and the casino's considering doing something permanent. And it's that goes along with the entire narrative of why we have the CEC as well. So that's also where I've learned all of my abilities and besides doing tons of research, it's where I've learned all my abilities to actually take what I've learned from speaking to actual people on the ground level, on the street level, and transfer that over to the executives at the casino levels. And I can tell you for more than most have said that casinos don't have anything for them at the moment. And I said, well, what if you could go into a casino, play a video game, and win money? They're all like, yeah, we'll be there in a heartbeat.
Now, as you said, sports betting has been a big topic for esports, especially here in New Jersey. I'm sitting here in New Jersey as well. I mean, do you see more and more states allowing betting on esports? How do we see esports and betting going forward?
It's, esports and betting is, if you go back to the inception of the arcade, when people would play in the arcades and they'd play Street Fighter or Pac-Man, it was a competition to start. So not exactly the same as obviously sports and physical stuff, but whoever had the highest score was like king of the castle. So it hasn't changed that ability to be the best and win be the best esport player that there is, or best video game player that there is. I like to say video game player because it really touches more on the culture than just the word esports. And so what I'm trying to say is that I see more states definitely adopting this. I just, there was an article that just came out this morning on CDC about a company called Odin.gg, which is an online betting platform in the Czech Republic. And I mean, this is Europe. I mean, really hasn't really banged it to the United States, but they recently announced that they've been granted permission to take bets on esports in New Jersey, Colorado, Michigan, Ontario, Canada. So, there's more and more, states that are creating legal esports betting in some form. As I said, Colorado is one of them, Nevada, New Jersey, Tennessee, Virginia, West Virginia, Washington. These are all states that are looking very closely at this because they want to adopt this gambling, because if they don't, they could be missing out on a very lucrative addition to their coffers. I mean, for example, it's like if you took there's been for esports wagering, it's year-over-year growth of 14.5%. In 2021, it's estimated that there was $1.08 billion made in wagering. That was the revenue. And it's only going to grow from there. So, there's a 10% increase from the year before in 2020 from the year before that, from 2019. So this could grow to $920.3, billion or something. I mean, the growth is huge.
Yeah.
It's just there's a lot of eyeballs watching, playing, and doing stuff around esports. Mm-hmm. So this is why it's such an attraction. In my opinion, when I talk about esports, I say it's mostly a cultural phenomenon. Why do I always say that? It's because the esport fan or player is not just anyone could play and become a video gaming star. You can play and become a professional esports player. It's not the same for like at the NFL or baseball, unless you have some gifted ability, or you just completely immerse yourself and just train yourself to become the best football player, basketball player, baseball player. You have to have some God-given ability.
Yeah.
I mean, the last time I saw a guy like Muggsy Bogues play in the NFL, in the NBA, has been a long time. I don't see any guys that are 5'3" playing that much anymore. And when I do, I root for that guy, because that's somebody who you look up to, because they're going against all the odds.
Mm-hmm. Okay, hold that thought. We're going to take a quick break. See you on the other side. Today's trip down the turnpike is brought to you by Drizzly, your online liquor store. Available in over 95 cities across North America, Drizzly offers a huge selection and competitive pricing with a side of personalized content. Now there's no need to leave the house. Get alcohol delivered in less than an hour by Drizzly. Head on over to drizzly.com and order today. And now get $5 off your first order of $20 or more when using promo code DRINK19 at checkout. Shop beer, wine, and liquor with drizzly.com. Hey, this is Dave Weishaupt from House of Cards with your House of Cards gaming report for the week of February 21st, 2021. Caesars Entertainment announced that it is rebranding the Lumiere Casino as the Horseshoe St. Louis. Not only is Caesars changing the signage of the casino, but will update the casino floor with new slots, lighting, carpet, and a new Starbucks. Caesars operates 6 Horseshoe casinos in the United States and purchased the Lumiere in 2018. In an effort to help with staffing problems, the Rolling Hills Casino in California turned to robots for help. Last year, the casino purchased 2 robots from Rich Tech Robotics to help in their Rock and Brews restaurant. The robots will be used to serve customers along with helping to transport dirty glasses and dishes off the tables. The robots can carry up to 20 pounds of food or plates and can be programmed to serve in different areas of the restaurant. And finally, a nun who pled guilty to embezzling from a school has been sentenced to jail. 80-year-old Sister Mary Margaret Kruper has been sentenced to a year in federal prison after admitting that she embezzled over $800,000 from St. James Catholic School in California. Last July, she pled guilty to 1 count of wire fraud and 1 count of money laundering to support her gambling habit. I wish I didn't use the word habit in that last sentence. Have any news or tips regarding casinos, gaming, or legislation? Send us an email at newsroom@houseofcardsradio.com and follow us on Twitter at HSU Radio.
You're listening to the House of Cards.
Knife. Not thrilling, but knife.
Welcome back to House of Cards. Dave Weishaupt with you. For those of you just joining us, I am talking with Ari Fox, creator of the Casino Esport Conference being held in Las Vegas at Alexis Park on March 23rd and 24th. You mentioned getting the ball rolling with the esports and betting. I mean, here in New Jersey, the Esports Entertainment Group is holding the first state-sanctioned peer-to-peer betting esport event called Landol at the Hard Rock Casino in Atlantic City. Do you think you'll see more and more esports events like that across the country? Do you think this will get the ball rolling?
I have, and I've been looking at that very closely, and I've been looking at their signups. I mean, we're a month out from there. They have an Eventbrite up there right now. They have about 24 followers for that event for a Madden tournament, and they're giving away $9,000 for that tournament. But if you have you're a month out and you have 24 people signed up, I mean, what is that really? What do you say? What does that say? I think it speaks a lot of volumes to say, and you're giving away $9,000. There should be like 300 people signed up for that thing already. I mean, I'm only looking at it from what I see on the screen, but maybe people sign up last minute, which I know that they do. But I'd love to see the numbers that come out and how many people actually go in, go through the doors for that event. In my opinion, I believe that when you're going to run an esports tournament, you really have to have a sort of circus around it.
Yeah.
That speaks to the video gaming culture. It speaks to the punter, if you so to speak, who will bet on esports, that they just don't want to also be wagering on esports, or they just don't want to be playing in a tournament when after their turn is done, they're just going to sit there and watch other guys play. When video gaming is, and the concept of it is, when you talk about the actual competition of it, is only like a very small piece of the puzzle. It's 10%. If you wanted to take numbers and break it down, you got 3 billion gamers worldwide, and you got 10% of those 3 billion are video game competitors, and they love to compete and play video games against one another. That's still a huge amount of people. But overall, if you're not going to even give those guys that are that 10% that are competitive video game players, they still love the concept of the technology behind what they're doing. They still love that to play other things besides the game that they're really good at. They also want to play other games. It's not just it's a very multifaceted type of culture. And I mean, if you ever sat down and watched a young person, a 16-year-old or 17-year-old, they could be on their computer, on their cell phone, and playing a video game all simultaneously and talking to a friend. They don't talk on phone. Sorry, they'll text, or they'll do a Snapchat, they'll do a cell. I mean, it's like they have 10 arms.
Yeah.
And so how do you you have to understand the customer, and that's exactly what we do at the Casino Esport Conference. It's understanding the customer. And like I said one time at ECGC, I was at the ECGC last year in October, and it was a whole room of casino executives. They said, you got guys in rooms somewhere in offices studying all the numbers. looking at the numbers, looking at the graphs, looking at the year-over-year profits. How much money can you make because you got this many eyeballs watching these guys play video games? But you're not it's one thing to understand that customer and say that you think you understand that customer. It's another thing to talk to them like I've done on the, in the street and really get to know who they are. Mm-hmm. And so it's almost like there's, lots of casinos and lots of executives and lots of companies that are doing their job, like a company like Spectrum Gaming. They're great at what they do. But the point being is that you're not getting into the dirt. You're not getting your hands dirty. You're in your ivory tower, making projections and thinking about what the industry is going to be like, but not really understanding that customer. Mm-hmm. And the reason why there's a disconnect is because the casino executives are Gen Xers. Some of them are still boomers, and they know themselves. And that's why, 20 years ago, you have, shows at the casinos. That's why you have slot machines at the casinos. That's why you have the things that the people that are running the casino industry understand because they enjoy it. Mm-hmm. So, but they don't understand what the younger person likes because they're not a younger person. So you have to be, if tomorrow all of the video gaming culture people and all the eSport people took over the casinos. Not to say that they did, mm-hmm. not to scare anybody, but they know what they like. Yeah. So they would institute what they like in the casinos and online on the iGaming side. So they know what they like and what they enjoy. So that's what they would put in, and that's what I plan to do. If I can't convince the casinos to do it, through the Casino Esport Conference and educating them, then you know what, mm-hmm. Dave, I'm going to end up doing it myself with my brother, and and I'm not joking. And we do have a plan for GameCon beyond just the conventions themselves, and that might be something that you see in the next 2 years.
That's interesting. I spoke with Grant Johnson, the CEO of Esports Entertainment Group, who's holding Landul and Hard Rock, and he said he's inviting executives from other casinos across the country so he can demonstrate that casinos can monetize esports. Is that what's needed at an event like this, that you have to invite people over and show them, like, this is viable, you can monetize this for your casinos? Is that what is necessary to show casinos like that?
I think it's very necessary. I think Grant really has the right idea, but he's showing it from the monetary perspective, which makes plenty of sense. Mm-hmm. But what I'm wondering is that I'm questioning where the money's going to be made. So if I hold a tournament tomorrow, but if I'm taking wagers on it, obviously there will be. You could make money that way if you're taking wagers on the tournament. That's a professionally sanctioned tournament. So, of course, you can make money that way. Mm-hmm. How much money can you make? Well, if it's streamed over Twitch and you're collecting the money over, some esport wagering, maybe his platform, like Landul or Vi.gg, then you'd be making money that way. I don't know how much. I can't tell you, if it'll be successful or not, but from looking at it from where I'm standing at 10,000 feet, I see something where you're having this event, you may get 100 people to show up to play the Madden tournament if you're lucky, or maybe 200 people, which I guess is a good amount of number. I don't think that the executives that are coming there will be that impressed with those kinds of numbers, because if they're really talking about food and beverage sales and other things that they want to make out around the actual tournament, mm-hmm. I think that might fall short there. But it's too early to say. You have something that's happening at the Hard Rock. I think it does have legs. It's definitely not a GameCon event, which is, our biggest one we had at Ocean was like 5,000 people over a weekend. And it had the esport tournaments inside of it. So, and everybody played and there was money given away and stuff like that. So, there was a little bit more of a sort of a energy and a vibe that was going on. I can't tell you what will happen. I don't know. Madden is a small community of video gamers. I know, and every title of video gaming has its own community. Madden's community is not that large. I'm not exactly sure how big it is on the East Coast, but countrywide, the Madden community is not large. So you might have people coming in from the West Coast or the middle of the country to play in the tournament itself, and they will stay overnight and they'll buy a hotel room and they'll probably eat there, etc., and things like that. So there might be a little uptick there. But as far as where they're going to be making money, the only thing I could see is on the wagering, if there is wagering allowed. And again, these players all have to be sanctioned. But it's not to say that they can't. I think that they might. If EEG's fit in the bill to actually present and put the whole thing on, then the casino doesn't really have to pay anything. And they just, they can get revenues shared from EEG. But then again, the devil's in the details, as I speak.
Now, as I said before, you're one of the creators of the Casino Esport Conference in Las Vegas at Alexis Park this year on March 23rd and 24th. When people attend the Esport Conference in Las Vegas, what can they expect to encounter when they get there?
What they'll expect to encounter are people that are well educated. We have Blackfire Institute at UNLV that will be speaking. These are professors that are learning about the future of the casino. So many times a question's asked to many casino executives, what will the future of a casino floor look like? The answer is at the CEC, and there's a lot of people there that will answer that question.
So what are the big topics that's going to be covered? I know this is such a growing field, and it just encompassing everything nowadays about gaming and casinos and esports. What are some of the big topics you're going to cover?
Well, first and foremost, we start with esports and esports wagering. But, beyond that, we talk about what is a metaverse. Does a casino need its own metaverse to attract this younger audience? There's been a lot of talk about what a metaverse is in the news. And that's something that's very valuable. It could be very valuable to a casino if they understood it. And that's something we're going to touch on. Another thing we're going to touch on is cryptocurrencies. Does that need to be implemented? Does a casino have to create their own coin? Can it create its own coin? The other things we're touching on is NFTs. Does that really make any sense in the long term? Does it make any sense in the short term? If a casino wants to institute a non-fungible token, does it have to get involved on that level? They were also talking about the augmented reality, virtual reality, immersive experiences. So it's an all-encompassing conference that speaks about and speaks to what needs to happen today, because it's all available today, that you can do to really turn that corner as a from what the younger audiences see. And I say younger, I'm saying the average age is 35 of a video gamer. But the younger audiences see as a casino, which is being old entertainment, into reinventing itself and offering new entertainment.
Okay, hold that thought. We're going to take a quick break. See you on the other side.
You're listening to the House of Cards.
Why, you cheap crook, stealing a baby's bank. It's only a lend-lease. I figured to bet on the 50 to 1 shot and double the baby's money. Why, you imbecile. Why don't you pick 100 to 1 shot and triple it? Oh, okay.
Welcome back to House of Cards. Dave Weishaupt with you. For those of you just joining us, I am talking with Ari Fox, creator of the Casino Esport Conference being held in Las Vegas at Alexis Park on March 23rd and 24th. I looked at the topics you're doing at the conference, and it's so timely. I want to ask you about, first off, cryptocurrency, and it's certainly becoming more and more mainstream. All you have to do is look at the commercials in the Super Bowl. I mean, what has been the effect of cryptocurrency on casinos and esports? I mean, for me, like I said, I'm sitting in New Jersey and everything's online. It seems like a match made in heaven, and it could be the future of casinos and esports. How should we be viewing cryptocurrency and gaming in the near future?
It's really funny you say that, Dave, because when you walk into a casino and you buy and you want to sit down at a table, what do you get? Mm-hmm. You get chips, right?
Yeah.
That's what a crypto is.
Yep.
It's the same thing. So it's just a digital version of a chip. Should they be looking at this? Absolutely. It's taking whatever they have. I mean, the biggest thing that came out of the casino industry, and I'm just talking exclusively the casino industry, the biggest topic at G2E last year was cashless gaming. Cashless. Yeah. You go in and you don't have to take out your wallet anymore, and they're trying to get rid of cashless, and you just transfer fees from your phone to the slot machine or whatever. And that was the biggest tech that they could talk about.
Yeah.
Last year. I mean, cashless, really? How long has cashless been around? I mean, it's like, I go in the supermarket, I could tap my credit card on a machine, and I've paid for my groceries. I mean, we're talking about an industry that's in sore need of completely being updated and revamped into bringing them into the 21st century. And so do I think that crypto has a future in the gambling industry? Absolutely, because when you talk about crypto, you're also talking about blockchain technology. Mm-hmm. Blockchain technology is absolutely the ledger that activates and clearly states without a doubt whether someone is what bet they've took, what is their payout, and it keeps track of everything automatically.
Yeah.
And it's all there. So, the transfer of that crypto, if decided that a casino wants to create their own crypto and their own coin, is just genius. It makes so much sense that, you could create, and then maybe you want, let's say Caesars has their own crypto, and you have crypto in Caesars, but you want to use that coin to go to Bally's. So you go to Bally's and they just transfer that. Now there's an exchange program. So how much you get in that exchange, Bally's will exchange their coin for the casino, for the Caesars coin. And then there's also the opportunity for blockchain to allow to help people with responsible gaming, knowing your customer.
Sure.
It's very important. And that all happens down on the blockchain, knowing when your customer's is wagering too much or is gambling too much. And you can stop them. You could say, here, look at this ledger on the blockchain that said, you were betting above what your means were. We can't allow that. We don't want you to be destitute. We want to make sure that it's complete regulation when you have the ability to use the blockchain and crypto. It just makes so much sense.
I'm glad you're also tackling NFTs. I mean, I can't do an interview nowadays without mentioning NFTs. I just did an interview with Paddy Power and his new gaming platform. He said he's gamifying NFTs. In the future, how do you see the relationship between esports, casinos, NFTs as we move forward in these next couple of years?
Well, the question is, how do you see, when you want to get a signed T-shirt from Joe Namath?
Yeah.
I mean, if you want to be in a basketball tournament and the prize is a signed T-shirt or signed jersey from Joe Namath or a signed jersey from Joe Barrow, I mean, yeah. Oh, yeah. It's like that's a piece of memorabilia that's going to be worth something someday. The same goes for an NFT. And then, on the flip side of it, the NFT is a digital memorabilia or digital piece of memorabilia. Mm-hmm. does it really have the same value as something that ages? Well, you know, I'm a Gen Xer, so I look at NFTs and I go, yeah, you know, it makes a lot of sense.
Sure.
But it doesn't. But an NFT will never age. So you don't have. Does that, or does it age? You know, the question is, it's a digital version, but you know, obviously it doesn't age the same way as an old baseball that was signed by Babe Ruth. But it does age in a way that, you know, it will. You know, year after year. How old is your NFT? You know, it's 5 years old. But does that even matter? Because it's still digital. It doesn't show wear and tear of an aged memorabilia because it's digital. So, in my opinion, it's awesome to have a piece of memorabilia like that. But then on the other side, it's like, well, I have a copy of that NFT, although I don't own it. But I have a copy of it, and it looks exactly like the NFT. So the question is, does NFTs have value? I believe that they do to a certain extent. But on the flip side of it, they also, you know, there's also an argument to be said or to be had that says, they don't really have value. So it's still, I think the jury's still out on that. But you know, when you if you want to compare NFTs, which is obviously a digital piece of art, to like a skin that you can use in a video game, and now we're talking, you know, apples and oranges. A skin itself is something that you can utilize, meaning like some kind of weapon or rifle that's digital rifle or weapon, or some type of armor. That in itself has some use and some ability to use to win a game. An NFT is just a piece of artwork or a piece of memorabilia that may not have any ability to utilize that piece of art or piece of memorabilia to do something and to win a game or something like that in the video gaming world, as I related to that. But if you wanted to say that, like, you know, you were giving away an NFT as a prize for an esports competition, and the value of it is, you know, $5,000, that only $5,000 of that NFT is only worth it because that's what the community says it's worth. So, you know, it's very objective. You know what I'm saying?
You know, I'm also glad at the Casino Esport Conference is you're tackling the concept of the metaverse. I mean, you're having a panel called Metaverse. How will it affect brick and mortar casinos and their online platforms? It's such a new term that people are just starting to hear about. What should people in gaming and the esports industry know about the metaverse, and how do you think the industry will change given the new digital platforms that are arising in the industry?
Well, the metaverse, I think, is, if you want to capture a younger audience, you're definitely going to have, every casino is going to have their own metaverse. I'm trying to get a guy that works for a company called Decentraland to come and speak. And what those are literal cities that have been recreated in the virtual world. And so some of them have already casinos in them. I don't necessarily know if they're regulated or not, or if they're licensed or not, but, you know, there's another dimension, virtual dimension, that will be an opportunity for there to be revenue built, revenue made in a metaverse. So do I feel that the metaverses are important? Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. From an entertainment perspective and from a money-making perspective. I mean, metaverses have been around for a while.
Sure.
There was something called Extra Life, or not Extra Life. It happened in 2007, 2006. Second Life. Second Life was developed back, you know, even around 2010. It was like a virtual world that you can go into, and it's been around for a while. But it's only getting more traction now because of the ability of there being value in the metaverse. So NFTs being built in the metaverse, those have value in a lot of words. So if you can use, for example, you create a digital room. Think of a school or a museum that builds a room in the physical sense, and then it's named after somebody. Well, that person paid for that room to be built or that building to be built. The same goes along with the virtual world as well. So if someone pays for a room to be built, their name is on that. They own that room. They own that. It's theirs. That's an NFT. So that's something else. So now we're talking about actual virtual real estate, and there's nothing more exciting to a casino than when you talk about real estate.
Yeah, right.
I mean, when you tell them, oh, I want to put a console for video gamers on your floor, it's like, well, how much is that 2 by 2 foot square space going to be making money for me? And what is the real estate value? Because when they build these massive casinos, it's all about, selling that real estate or getting back that return on the investment on that real estate location. And that's what the metaverse offers. And now it's something that's digital. It's something they really should be looking into, because it's such it's so up their alley when they're talking about money. And that's why at the CEC, we want to discuss that, because that's a big, I have a feeling they may go toward the metaverse before they even go towards esports wager.
Ari, we're running out of time, but can you tell people where they can register for the Casino Esport Conference, which is being held in Las Vegas at Alexis Park this year on March 23rd and 24th?
Yes, you could go to Casino Esport, no S, CONF.com, and register there to get your tickets for the Casino Esport Conference. This is something I don't think anyone should miss, especially now that we're coming out of this pandemic, because we have a new world. It is a new normal. And if you don't adapt now, you're not going to be around for a few more years. You'll see your numbers drop, and your stockholders are not going to be happy. So it's time to change. It's time to make that investment. It's time to adapt and really come into the 21st century. We have a lot of change that has happened over the last 3 years. And the CEC has the answers for how you need to grow your business. So the event is CEC. It's March 23rd and 24th in Las Vegas. And you can find all the information on Casino Esport, CONF.com. So that's Casino Esport Conf, CONF.com. And, register today, because I'm telling you, the tickets are we only have a limited amount of space, but a lot of people are coming to this, and it's going to be a very exciting year this year.
Ari Fox, creator of the Casino Esport Conference, which is being held in Las Vegas at Alexis Park this year on March 23rd and 24th. Thanks a lot for coming on and talking about the conference. It's always such an important event for the esports and casino industry. So, as always, thanks for joining us and telling us all about it.
Thank you so much, Dave, for having me. I wish the industry and the esports industry all the luck, and let's make some money in the future.
Sounds good. Stick around. We'll be right back. Stick around. We'll be right back.
Thanks for having me.
Oh, it's always great to have you. Well, that'll do it for us this week. I'll see you next time on House of Cards.
You build a house of cards around a lovely